Welcome to the I Beg to Differ podcast where we recap our favorite movies and TV shows. Today, I have with me my lovely co host, my sister Katrina, and my name is Candace, and we're going to be recapping the Challenge USA Season 2, Episode 1. Trina, just what are your initial reactions of this first episode? Like, do you watch a lot of the CBS shows? So, like, did you know who a lot of these people were, or what were you thinking?
Okay, I didn't know who all these
Hmm.
people were. Some of them, like, I do recognize from like the previous
Yeah.
season. But like some of them, I'm like, why did they add them? Like,
Yeah.
like normally they keep the same people, but like this time they just have like totally different
Right.
people.
And so, like, for me, I knew of a lot of these people because once they started bringing some Big Brother people on the challenge, that I kind of started like
hmm
watching some seasons of like Big Brother, and then I kind of now I gotten really into Survivor, and I did watch a couple of seasons of The
hmm
Amazing Race, but that show we feel like it be going on too long, so sometimes I skip some episodes. But I don't know. I think they did okay with the casting, but some of the people, I don't know. We'll get to it, but I wasn't really sure why they picked them. Okay, and then they on this season they brought, I guess, six challenge legends or whatever you want to call them. I don't remember what they call them, greats. And what did you
Huh.
think about the six people that they chose? Because they chose Wes, Bananas, Corey,
hmm
Tori, Janae, and Amanda. What do you think about that?
I don't like this selection at all. At all. Like, how are they gonna be challenge legends? Like, Corey ain't even
I
won
know,
one.
I know.
And
I wonder
then
if
like
Darrell just wanted to take a
Tori,
break, or I guess they were trying to bring somebody a little bit younger.
West I could understand, Bananas I could
Hmm.
understand. But like some of them other choices, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
I
they already
can't.
done brought
Cause we've
Jordan
watched
back.
it.
Jordan probably would have been a better option as a
Yeah.
challenge legend, and
Like
then
we've
he
watched
won
this since the
the most
beginning.
recent season. Even though
Yeah.
I don't really
We
like
watched
him,
this from the first
but if we're trying to
challenge.
go like with a younger kind of feel, he probably would have been a better pick.
I don't like I really just don't even like the fact that they canceled Real World and Road
Me either.
Rules, and then they starting to add other shows to
Hmm.
it, like that. That's not even part of like the whole franchise of it.
No, I agree with you. I'm with you on that one. So we get, the typical, they're all on a boat, mixing, mingling before the challenge. So then we find out
hmm
Polly's back. What did you think about Polly finally being back? Because I thought Bananas kind of had him blackballed.
I don't like Polly. He's an annoying little character, and
that's
he's
that's
just
why I don't
weird.
like him, because he's a character. He makes himself like, I don't know. I just don't be feeling like he's being
hmm
genuine, like he's trying to make good TV.
Yeah,
You know. Speaking of that,
yeah, he
we can always speak on what these people put out there. So just because we don't like them on the show, that don't mean we know them as people personally. All we know is what they do on the
does.
show and maybe what they do on social media. So just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
preface that.
cause we have watched all the seasons we've seen from these people. Some of them you can like for what
Hmm.
they do and how they play the game, and some of them they just do it for TV. It seems like.
Yep. So then they kind of showed us some Survivor people. I know you don't watch it. Sebastian, he's from Survivor. He was really good on Survivor. Like, he was good at challenges and stuff.
hmm
Michelle Fitzgerald, I didn't watch her original season, but I did watch her on Winners at War. She made it to the final tribal council on that. So I mean, but she won Survivor also, a prior season.
I don't
And
really like her.
then and she was on the challenge. Like, did you like her when she was on the challenge before? She cried
No,
too
I
much for
didn't,
me.
cause she was shady. She
Yeah,
was
and she
just
tried to use
shady.
her tears to like affect how people
hmm
like vote and stuff. I don't know. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
It's more like it's
Mm-mm.
giving Big Brother style. You know how the Big Brother people are. Josh is
I don't
back.
like her.
Really don't like Josh. Not a fan.
He's extra
Yeah.
too.
And apparently him and Polly still have some beef. That was, I was like,
I think that's for
yeah,
TV
no, I
at
agree.
this point. Is to make the show.
And then they showed us two amazing race people, Dusty and Louie. I watched both of their seasons. Dusty, I believe he
Okay.
was partnered. Was it his brother Ryan? I don't know if they were brothers,
Mhm.
but Ryan. Um, and they were really good. They were supposed to win the season, but they couldn't. It was something that they couldn't find. Like it was like one of these things where you had to find like a needle in a haystack
Mhm.
thing, and they couldn't find it. Oops. And then Louis, I can't remember. They didn't win their season because they were on the season with Derek and Claire. Derek and Claire from Big Brother won their season.
Mhm.
But he did really good on their season. So I forgot he was a firefighter. We'll get to him. I was surprised he was last pick. He's
Mm.
more physical than a lot of those guys. Maybe because he's maybe a little older. I don't know how old he is. We'd have to go
Yeah.
through the cast and see. Any first impressions of them, or you can really tell from the little packages they gave?
I mean, I have to
Yeah.
watch. I have to watch the show to see about those
Hmm.
people. I don't know them. They're not. They're a non-factor.
And then they showed us Chris, who won Survivor Edge of Extinction. I didn't watch that season, but a lot of people said it wasn't very good anyways. I don't know if that was the season with
Mhm.
the little sexual harassment assault
I
scandal.
don't even know.
I had to go back. I don't want to make
I
things
don't
up,
know.
but I remember people talking about it on social media. So I can't remember. Maybe that's the season, and and
Allegedly.
that's maybe why people said the season wasn't that good. I don't know, because they had to
Yeah.
like eject somebody from the game because they was like some old man that was being a little handsy.
Mhm.
Okay, so we figured out the format is gonna be a team format. It's three teams. There are three captains that are chosen at random. They have all their names in this little like kind of like a bingo ball type machine, and they're gonna take out three balls inside the captains.
Yeah.
The three captains are Josh, Cassidy. She was on Survivor. She also made it to the final tribal council. She was really good, but she was a little conflicted with one of my favorite players on that season, Carla. So I was a little iffy on Cassidy, and there was a little beef between them. I kind of after the season, Cassidy felt away, but so yeah, Cassidy, but she was a really good player. And then Desi,
Mhm.
I didn't watch her season of Survivor, but obviously we saw her on the Challenge USA season 1, and she was a really strong competitor. What do you
Yeah.
think about these three captains? I guess you know two of the three, so you could maybe give a little.
I like
Hmm.
Dizzy. I don't think Josh should have been a
Yeah,
captain.
me either. But
Even though his like the little ball came out and it had his name on it, I don't think
well,
he
he's
should have
just
been
not
a
very
captain.
smart, as we saw with the team
No.
that he chose. But we'll get to that.
Mhm.
Um, so we got the teams broke. They drafted teams. We'll kind of talk about people's first two picks, and then we can go over what the full teams are. Or I don't know. Let's just do the full teams because that may take too long. So
Yeah.
Josh, his team is Team Red. He chose Johnny and
Mhm.
Polly as his first two picks, and then he chose Michelle, Dusty, Chanel, Bananas, and Tiffany. Were you surprised that he picked Polly and then so surprised that it took so long for Bananas to get off the board?
I think people don't want bananas on their team because they feel like kind of he's like a what is it called? He's one of those ones that will mess you
Yeah.
up or plot against
Yeah,
you.
he's not
So
scared to vote
like
against
yeah.
his own team if he got to.
Yeah. He's not and they feel like he's
Mhm.
manipulative. But then you got Polly. I think he picked Polly because he didn't really want him to go against him.
Yeah.
Because Polly is the same way as
But he'll vote
Bananas. They're
against his
like
own
one and
team
the
too, so I wouldn't have
same.
picked Polly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'd rather have him on the other team. But and
Mhm.
then I was a little shocked he picked John A first, but I think his strategy too, he didn't want to be on a team with his friends so that they
Yeah.
would have to
I could
potentially
look
go
out
in
for
probably
them.
elimination against you because you don't really know the format, but you obviously know if you lose, you
Yeah,
vulnerable. Like that's kind of common sense. So
exactly.
I think he intentionally didn't want to pick his friends because you saw he didn't pick Tori and he didn't pick Fessy. Um, and I think
Mhm.
he was really trying not to pick Bananas, but it kind of got forced on him. So
Yeah.
um, so then for Cassidy, she's the blue team, and she picked Corey, Tori, Fessy, Alyssa L from BB23. Don't really, I don't
Mhm.
know about her. Sebastian, and then the other Alyssa from BB24. I don't know her last name. Don't really care. And Chris.
Mhm.
what what did you think of this team? Like I felt like this was a really
This
good
was a good
team,
team.
like really well rounded.
Yeah.
Because obviously Corey,
Yeah.
Tori, and
I can
Fessy are
see
all
them.
really strong physically.
Yeah. I can see them going places with
Now
that
the only thing I
team.
worry about this team is that they not the brightest tools in the shed. I mean, they did get those puzzles
I
that they had to do
mean,
today done.
I think Tori's probably good with puzzles, but
You
I don't know
remember
about
on
the
War
rest
of
of them.
Worlds 2? Jordan literally
I'm
stood
just
back and tried to
saying.
give her the puzzle, and she still couldn't figure it out. And he had to run on and go on to the next part of the final because it was between them two that would make it to the next part on 18.
Mhm.
Remember that? I
Yeah.
don't trust her with no
Mhm.
puzzle. And then when she won with Devin, like obviously Devin's good at puzzles, so she really didn't have to do
Yeah.
nothing.
That's
I
true.
don't know. We know Corey can't do no puzzle, and Fessy not as smart as he think he is.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
I don't know any of them to be that smart. I mean, maybe Cassidy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, cause Alyssa, both Alyssas, I ain't saying they dumb, but they not no puzzle queen. I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
just to preface you, so Alyssa L on BB23, she's the one that's like, is she like his Latina? I guess, because I think her last name is
I
Lopez.
think so, yeah.
So she was on the season where they had the first black winner of Big Brother. So that's when they had the Cookout Alliance. And so remember she came on Challenge
Mhm.
USA talking about she wanted revenge against the Cookout. It's like, girl, like, do you not realize that don't sound right? That don't sound good. It's a little problematic. Like you want revenge
Yeah.
against the black people because they came together to get the first black winner in 23 seasons of Big Brother. Like you sound a
Yeah.
little problematic. So I'm
Mhm.
not. I don't like how she did Xavier, and yeah, I ain't really. Mm-mm. So then the other Alyssa, she a little problematic too on BB24 from last season of Big Brother. She was dating this guy Kyle in the house, and he was very problematic. He was a little sheltered, it was given cult. Um and he was saying like he was just saying problematic things. Like he was scared of a black alliance getting together, like or a minority alliance, and he basically wanted all the white people to get in an alliance together to
Mhm.
combat if there was going to be another cookout type of alliance. Like you can kind of see how that's problematic. But then she still stayed with him and then
Mm.
still ended up dating him after the show and stuff, and then was letting fans pay for trips and stuff for them, all kinds of stuff. It was just some weird stuff going on with them, honey. So I'm not really a fan of her either, just so you had the background
Got
as to
you.
why I don't like them on the show. Look, I don't
Mhm.
know them personally, I just know what I seen, but Big Brother, you do get to really see how
Yeah.
people are because them live feeds be telling. They be telling. All right, so now Desi, Team Green, she picks Wes, Michaela. I'm so glad she picked Michaela. I wanted them on the team together so bad. And Monty, I'm don't like him. Amira, don't like her. Um, Tyler, Amanda, and Louie. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and let you know why I don't like Monty and Amira. They was on last season. Monty, and Taylor, who's the black girl that ended up winning last season,
Mhm.
they end up having a little thing, but then he kept trying to like I guess it was like he was trying to bring her down a notch. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
stuff. I ain't really like how he was moving with her. And then he was just real condescending with her. And they ended up like having sex and stuff in the house or whatever. But then when she had her speech, she killed him with that speech because she was a former like Miss USA contestant. She was Miss Michigan, and
Yeah.
she killed him with that speech. And then when she went to sit back down next to him, he ain't even want to hold her hand. They always hold hands like the last two people after they get their final
Yeah.
speech to the jury. And
Mhm.
I just thought, sir, he was just, I didn't like him. He was giving hotep, and I ain't with it. And then Amira, she was one of the other black women in the house that contributed because Taylor got bullied really bad early on in the season, and she contributed to that bullying, and I ain't like it.
Mhm.
So, and then Taylor was dating this other guy, Joseph, after the season, and Amira kept pushing up on her
Okay,
man.
Candace.
So we don't like Monty or Amira. Tyler, um, you haven't seen him play any games yet, have you? He was on
Mm-mm.
Big Brother 20, the season with like Swaggy and Bailey that were on the challenge before. And I
Mhm.
guess Fessy was on that season, and Casey. Completely forgot. He should have won the season. It was a better jury situation. Fessy them didn't vote for him because
Mhm.
they were in opposite alliances. Like he was in level 6, they were in Falte. Um, he was the better strategist of the season. Casey shouldn't have won that season. Tyler was supposed to win that season. Um, so what do you think about the people? Are you glad Michaela's back? What are you thinking?
I'm just ready to see what's gonna happen on this season because this episode was kind of just, I feel like a
Yeah,
starter. They could have just did two back to back at this
right.
point, like on the same
Yeah,
night.
no, I agree. Yeah, that's why I kept looking at how much time was up, and I was like, oh, we not even gonna get to see who in the elimination. I was really
Mm-mm.
glad Michaela was back because I feel like she didn't get a fair chance. Now she shouldn't have been writing them names in that book last time either, but she
Yeah.
didn't get a fair chance. I was really excited for her because I saw her on Survivor, Millennials versus
Mhm.
Gen X, and she did really well. But
Yeah.
Jay, from Jay from the challenge, he ended up crossing her because he knew she was a threat.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the three teams. Um, and we get introduced to some more people, but I think we'll just kind of touch on them as they do something. Cause we don't want to keep
Mhm.
talking about people that ain't gonna do nothing. Cause like we got introduced to like Chanel and Tyler talked about his little breakup and all this different stuff. Um,
Mhm.
so the daily challenge is called Storm the Castle. There are 6 statues for each of the challenge greats. So each team must carry the statues for their two challenge greats up a trail to the castle ruins. There's 2 checkpoints along the way. Along the way, there's symbols that they have to memorize in order to
Mhm.
solve the puzzles that are at the checkpoints in order to move on. But at the checkpoints, they also make it easier for you, like the first one they pass the checkpoint, they get like a wagon or whatever to roll the statue, and then the second one they get to take like half of the weight off of each statue and to move on. The first team to finish is safe, and then the other two, and they're safe, and they must choose 2 people to be at risk of elimination. That's all they know at the start of the challenge. What did you think about like this challenge? You think it was a good like first challenge, or you feel like how sometimes the challenges be a little gimmicky?
Yeah, this one was
Yeah.
fair game. It was a fair game
Yeah. I
challenge.
think it showed pretty quickly who picked like a good, well rounded team and who didn't. Um
Mhm.
so, most of the teams they seem to be putting the 2 girls in the front and 2 guys in the back. But I said like Desi and Michaela, they were killing it because they was being in the front by they self carried that statue. And I
Mhm.
thought the green team had a good system because I guess Amanda and Amira, they're supposed to be memorizing these symbols and stuff. And Amanda's good at puzzles because I remember she won like a memory thing like that. I feel like with Zach or somebody on one of those seasons.
Mhm.
Um, so then all the teams seemed to solve that first puzzle pretty fast. Like everybody got the puzzle solved, got the wagon. So the red team and the blue team end up passing on by the green team, right? But then the red team
Mhm.
they can't even really work together. So they try to pass the blue
Mm-mm.
team, and they statues falling on out. They about to kill each other with these statues.
Mhm.
With Josh and Johnny and them. It's at a point where the green team was able to just go on around. Like, what do
Yep.
you think about the red team? Like, total chaos, it seemed like.
I think it's just funny to
Hmm.
me because he picked all those people,
Yep.
and then all them people can't
But
work
it's like he
together.
didn't pick any, like, body with brute strength. You know,
Mm,
like the other
yeah.
teams have, like, really strong women and so, or it's really strong men or both. Like, you know, like Cassidy, she got Corey, Tori, and Fessy on her team. Desi has
Mhm.
her, Michaela, and Monty. And then I feel like Wes is
Yeah.
pretty strong too. You know what I mean? But like Josh,
Mhm.
he's the only one on his team that's just like brute strength. So it's like you gotta have a couple of those like CT type, you know, those Tory, those Cam type
Yeah.
players, Leroy, those type of people. But
Mhm.
he didn't pick anybody like that. And we saw what happened last
No.
time. Paulie was in a final, so I wouldn't have picked him at the top personally.
No.
So everybody, I felt like Michaela looked really strong. It looks like Josh just didn't pick a strong, like brute force strong team.
Mhm.
And then we get to second puzzle. Green gets there first, and Amanda done forgot all her symbols. And I'm like, I'm not the biggest Amanda fan, but she's grown on me lately. But she had to, like, this is the only, like, not the only thing she good for, but you know what I mean. Like, this is her main strength. And girl, you don't forgot these symbols. So then the blue team and red team are able to pass them, and Amanda just dropped the ball. So then blue team wins. And so they must pick one man and one woman to be at risk of elimination. And the losers, the green and the red team, must go back to the house and place a secret vote at the elimination. The little like bingo type machine, they're calling it the hopper, will randomly choose who will be in
Mhm.
elimination. So basically, if a man's name comes out, then the man that the blue team chose is going into elimination. And if a woman's name
Mhm.
come out, then the woman that they choose is going to elimination. So basically, before they go into deliberation, the blue team vets talked with Josh, to basically look. They said they're gonna look out for each other, basically. So we get in this
Yeah.
nomination ceremony or whatever you want to call it, and the blue team vets just took over the ceremony. What did you think about that? Like, why? Like, if you were in there, I don't know. It's easy to say sitting at home that, oh, if I was there, I wouldn't have just went for what they wanted. But when you in there, you don't want you scared to be the first one to speak up because then they could tell the other vets, and you know what I mean. What do you think?
Yeah. It's kind of just like
Yeah.
that. You know. I would probably just went with the
Yeah,
team.
because it's like Tory basically just took control, and I think the tricky thing with their team is that Fessy is being included in the CBS people, but he's really like a challenge vet. You know what I mean? So, but
Mhm.
still, they had them outnumbered. So I'm surprised. Like, why didn't some of the CBS people get together? You know, there's only 3 vets on their team, so if they just spoke up, they could have outvoted
Yeah.
them. So they ended up nominating Louis and Amira, and then I believe Alyssa L from BB23. She peeped what was
Mhm.
going on, like what the vets did. Like clearly they came in, they knew who they wanted in elimination. They knew how it was gonna go, but they just tried to pretend
Mhm.
like they were like deciding on it as a group. So
Mhm.
then Alyssa tells the green team that she was outvoted, and Tori and Corey kind of ran the show. So then red team is talking about how they should vote. And most of them want to vote a green guy to try to weaken the green team because they feel like, okay, since the blue team didn't vote any of us in, then we know they're looking out for us. So let's just try to attack the green team, basically. Um, but Michelle
Mhm.
said mentions about maybe voting for a green woman. Like, why do we have to go vote for a green man? And then Janae has this little confessional where I guess Wes told her not to trust Michelle. I'm like, Wes, that's real rich coming from you. I don't like Michelle, but
Mm.
you talking about trust, Wes? What'd you think?
I really honestly think Wes is very smart, which I
Mm-hmm.
do believe that she's one of those ones that will flip her vote. She'll say one thing and flip it to the next
Yeah,
person.
yeah, she's kind of like Michelle. I don't know. She plays with her emotions, but I don't think she's a very honest player either. You know what I mean? So it's
Mm-mm.
really tricky. Like I think she wants to be, but she's kind of cutthroat, but she's
Yeah.
emotional cutthroat. So you kind of like feel bad for, she can make you feel bad for her, even though she screws you
Mm-hmm.
over. She's like that's how she
Yep.
is. So then we get to see a few of the votes. Didn't really write down who people voted for, except that John A voted for Michelle, which I thought was interesting. But what did you have any like particular votes that kind of surprised you that we did get to see?
No, not at all.
So then we get everybody heading down to the arena. That's what they're calling the elimination space this year.
Mm-hmm.
Louis seems like real fired up, ready. Amira looked like a deer in
Yeah.
headlights, honey, which I'm glad because I don't really
Mm-hmm.
care for her after her Big Brother season. I'm ready for her to be gone. So then we find out that you now, because they weren't sure if they would know how many each person's balls were in the little the hopper or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But we find out that they will this season find out how many votes are for each person. You just won't know who voted for you. So the votes were Wes got 2 votes, Dusty got 2 votes, Desi got 1, Michelle got 3, Monty got 4, and Bananas got 4. What did you think, like, how these votes shook out?
I honestly thought Monty would have
Me too.
more. I didn't think Desi would have
Mm-hmm.
any. I thought Michelle would have
Right.
more.
Because Wes was on
And
green team, right? Okay.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so the only red team guy that got votes was Bananas. Or was Dusty
Mm-hmm.
on red team or green team? He's on green team, right?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think so.
No, he's on red team. Okay. So, yeah, I was a little mm, thrown off by the votes. I don't know. I thought Monty would get more, like you said. Um, I was surprised that anybody voted for Desi. Not like saying because obviously we saw CT lose to Jay before, but just Desi versus Amira, like that ain't worth your time. Or what you think?
Mm, yeah, that's true.
But okay, so out of these 6 people, who do you hope is gonna be the one picked from the hopper?
I'm hoping it is Michelle.
Me too. And who do you want? Okay, if it's Michelle versus Amira, who do you want to win? And who you want to go home?
Um, to be honest, I hope they both get hurt so then they can both leave. I'm not trying to be mean.
Well,
I don't
I
wish
do.
anybody any bad luck, but I'm just like I just don't want that Michelle
Yeah,
girl because she's very
yeah. I don't
calculated.
like care that much for either of them, but I would rather Amira go because Michelle at least brings some drama or something to the show. Remember how she was crying, Nani? Was if you can't
Mm-hmm.
trust the whatever the closest person in this house, who can you trust or whatever she was saying? I'm like, girl, when did you and
Yeah,
Nani become close like that? It was a little
exactly.
dramatic for me personally, but So yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, I'd rather Amira go ahead and go home. I like Louis, so I don't want him to be in the elimination. So yeah,
Okay.
that's my hope. All right, so that wrapped up the episode. We left off on TJ was about to pick the name, but obviously they didn't give us that. So
Yeah.
this season of Challenge USA, they're gonna do 2 episodes a week. So this just because it was the first one, and we're kind of prefacing kind of who some of these people are. We just did the first episode by itself. All the future podcasts will do 2 episodes per podcast. So um the episodes for the on the TV for the show is going to be Thursdays and Sundays, but So we'll always record after the Thursday episode, and then yeah. So we'll see how this season goes. It started off okay. I mean, on Challenge USA, it's never given what original, the original challenge
Mhm.
gives. I think they try to clean it up a little bit because it's on like, you know, it's
Yeah.
on a regular network. It's not on MTV. so so yeah.
That
So you
too.
don't get as much of like the drama in the house. You know what I mean? It's more just the
Mhm.
challenges. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's this episode of the podcast. My name is Candace. You can find me on Instagram at simply Candace. And Katrina, do you want to let people know?
And my name's Katrina, and you can find me at Katrina underscore
All
level.
right. And this is the episode. We don't just recap, obviously, reality TV. We're recapping scripted shows, different stuff. So maybe you can check out our feed and see if there's any other shows that you like that we recap, and check it out. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.